Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast and welcome to another League One roundup. It's Sunday as of recording. I've purposely waited a little bit later in the day because of a huge game. Sheffield Wednesday hosted Rotherham United in League One. So I wanted to make sure I got my tactical breakdown of that game. That'll be one of 4 games we'll be looking at today in detail, tactically breaking the game down, looking at the man of the match, some standout players, the statistics, the attacking momentum graph, all of that good stuff as well. What this means to these teams going forward as we hit now a really significant, I'd say the business end of this League One campaign. Let's not mess about, let's get straight into it. We do this every single Sunday, talking about the amazing, and I say it all the time, but some incredible and amazing pieces of League One action. Like I say it every single week, but it just seems to get better and better. So please, if you enjoy this sort of content, you want to see more of it, you don't want to miss it, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, it really helps the episodes of the podcast. It helps the growth of the podcast as well. We're on the sort of long journey to 1,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button, be part of the journey, hit that notification bell as well. That way you'll never miss an episode. You'll always be notified whenever I go live or do a recorded episode just like this one. Please do that. It really shows your support, and I really do appreciate it. So we're going to start off AFC Wimbledon against Sunderland. Then we can already see there the red card for AFC Wimbledon. Of course, we'll come on to that in just a second. I also want to look at this league table. I think it's quite important when we look at these games, and before we break them down, of course, this is the league table after the result. But the actual positions, especially for Wimbledon, hasn't moved at all. They're 20th in the league, just above relegation, and they're coming into this game in not great form. 3 points, 3 draws in the last 5 games. Their 3 points are coming from 3 draws and then 2 defeats as well. So the last 5 games from a Wimbledon perspective isn't that great, and there is probably a real level of concern in the camp because, again, they're hovering above relegation. Only 1 point separates them from Morecambe, who are in that first relegation spot. So this game was always going to be difficult because it's a very talented Sunderland squad. And although they're not in great form at all, of course they are struggling, they have appointed a new manager. At the same time, there's still quality in this squad. And they're not in great form, but there's still a lot of individual quality. And a manager needed to come in, and now has come in O'Neill. And what needs to happen there is there needs to be a real organisation change in what's going to be done. But not necessarily in that it becomes really quite restricted in how Sunderland play, but more, you almost want more freedom with the players because they've got such quality, they've got such ability. They almost need someone to come in and just let them loose, let them go and do what they need to do, allow them that freedom, allow them that equality and free roam, if they like, to go and do what they need to do in these sort of games. And unfortunately for O'Neill, it's not going to be a victory in his opening day of the season, but it's not a defeat. I think that's the most important thing from Sunderland. Are they still going to be frustrated they couldn't get a win? Of course they are. Should they be beating teams just above, one place out of the relegation zone with ambitions to go and get promoted? Yes, they should be. But unfortunately, the league we are in right now, and League One being as unpredictable as it is, and it's already proven to be this season, 32 games into it, no one is expected to win anyone anymore. And that's what's so fascinating about it. Now, Wimbledon are probably thinking, the start of the season, this game is, might just be a little bit out of our league. And then you go in to look at their recent form at Sunderland before they appoint a manager. You think about this game being on Wednesday or Thursday before they appoint O'Neill, you go, we've got a bit of a chance here. At home, they look really quite poor. They've lost 6-0 to Bolton. They've been beaten 2-1, who are bottom of the league. We could have a chance here. They appoint O'Neill, and he manages them. I think he said he had a 40-minute training session with them on the Friday. He then plays them on the Saturday. Then you're probably thinking, right, I think we probably take a point. I think Wimbledon now definitely do take a point. They've got a manager in now at Sunderland who, again, has got a really quite good reputation, did well at Preston, and did a very experienced coach. You do take a point from Wimbledon. I think from a Wimbledon fan perspective, you probably do take a point. We'll look at the stats as well. I mean, to be fair, Sunderland, as you can imagine, they had a lot of the ball, 59% possession. But interestingly, more shots towards Wimbledon. We look at the big chances as well. 2 big chances of Wimbledon. It sounds as though in the game they really could have got more than a point out of it. Their first goal comes from a penalty. Their second goal, the first goal then for the second goal of the game. The first goal for Sunderland comes from, I haven't actually watched the goals, but I believe it was a fantastic free kick from Pritchard. I did see that one. I have seen the goals, haven't seen the game, and I do know that goal was a really quite fantastic free kick effort. But we look at that momentum graph as well. The home side being in the green, and Sunderland being the away side in the blue. You can see there, it's just refresh without me trying to do anything, that's helpful. You can see that, Wimbledon had their moments. They had they had that attacking momentum at points in the game. You can see that start of the game, really, other than that very small spike from Sunderland, the first sort of 20-25 minutes was definitely all Sunderland. And then a really big AFC Wimbledon patch in the middle there where they got their goal, they got their penalty, and even after that as well, they sort of took that momentum into it. Second half, they got their goal, second part of the first half, Sunderland get their equalising goal, and then it's quite not much going on in that attacking sense. And then the second half starts definitely all Sunderland, and then again, Wimbledon have a big patch in the game, and they got, like I said earlier, 2 big chances in the game as well. So it does finish 1-1, and Wimbledon probably do take it. In hindsight, looking at league position, you probably do take that result. But there's no doubt in my mind at all that Wimbledon had their moments in this sort of game, and Wimbledon might be a little bit disappointed. They maybe couldn't edge a home win. But again, from Sunderland, it was important they didn't lose. Like I said, they did well at moments. They're pretty hoping to create more chances going forward. Like I said, I did watch the O'Neill sort of post-match interview. He said, look, the most important thing is we didn't lose the game. We do need to build on it now. We do need to sort of see there is a clear quality. It's something interesting he mentioned as well. There's sort of a balance between players that aren't fit enough and are getting tired, and there is that sort of really quite difficult balance where they need to pick all these players up to speed. They need to get all of these players at the right level in terms of match fitness more than anything. Balance it out, because balance is the most important thing, and then go on, and then go from there. It's going to be fascinating what happens at Sunderland. Like I said, he didn't lose the opening day of the season. The opening in his first game, O'Neill. That's going to be the most important thing. But they need to build on that. They need to really now go into the next game with, taking now with, they've got a while now with O'Neill. I don't think they've got a game on Tuesday. I know Oxford have it. I don't know if they have got a midweek game. I want to say they don't. They need to then build on that now. They need to go and take that into the next one, take the positives from that, but learn from the negatives and go in and get that first win under O'Neill. But there we go. That's the game for you there. Finishes 1-1. We've looked at the stats, we've looked at the momentum graph, and we've looked at how both sides fared in the game. Really, really quite interesting. But it does finish AFC Wimbledon 1, Sunderland 1 in that game. Right, let's go to the next one. We're going to Wigan against Charlton. Another really, really big game. This one, of course, Wigan second in the league. They have a lot of games in hand. This was one of them, and a really good win against Charlton yesterday. 59 points they currently sit on. Before that, they were struggling in the last 3 games. Haven't won a game. Back, though, to winning ways at home at the DW Stadium against Charlton Athletic, who are 14th in the league. 2 defeats now on the bounce for Charlton, so a little bit disappointing. Before them, though, 3 wins. Is the playoff dream over? I think it might be. 39 points. Plymouth are in 6th, are on 53 points. I do think that sort of playoff hope that maybe Jonnie Jackson could install into the players, I think might be a little bit dead and buried. A bit of a shame, because I think Jonnie Jackson has come in and definitely improved. Charlie, there's no doubt about that. Can he take them to that ultimate playoff push that he maybe hoped he could do? At this point in the season, it might be a little bit, too little, too late. Could that be too much of a task when we look at how many games they've got left and the teams around them who are getting results? I think that might be the case. Let's look at that attacking momentum graph. I do like to look at that. And you can see there, it was a fairly dominant Wigan performance. Not many spikes in the game, unfortunately, for Charlton. But you've also got to remember as well, Wigan are a really good outfit, really well organised. And, I've watched them play quite recently against Oxford. We got a good draw against them, 1-1. There was no doubt, though, really well organised, a real tough outfit. And we look at the momentum here. Charlton opened the scoring with the first goal. That they're sort of one of their 3... maybe you could push it 4 significant attacking moments in the game. They did get that goal quite early on, but then a really big spike, from the 30th minute until half time. They got their goal on the penalty spot, Wigan, and then the second half it's definitely all Wigan. Moments of Charlton, and then a big spike again from Wigan, and they get that sort of that 2-1 lead. So you do feel that this probably was a game in which Wigan are going to come out probably feeling that they deserve to win the game. Are Charlton going to feel too hard done by? Probably not. If I'm being completely honest, probably not. Let's have a look at the statistics. Again, I didn't watch the game, and I'll be interested in it. The most important thing, I love listening to what you've got to say in the comments down below. Maybe you're a Charlton fan, let me know. Do you feel hard done by, or were Wigan sort of worthy winners? We look at big chances. It does look like, it does look like... there was both sides with big chances. Wigan had one, and Charlton had the other one as well. We look at more shots for Wigan, 3 of them on target, 3 off target actually for Wigan as well. So more shots, the same big chances. Charlton hit the woodwork, so again that'll be a little bit disappointing. But I look at that attacking momentum. It does look like Wigan were definitely the side on the front foot for the majority of the game, and that's quite interesting. Sean Clay gave away the penalty, I believe, for the goal as well. Looks like he's playing right centre-back, interestingly, for Charlton yesterday. Elliot Lee, of course, ex-Oxford United player with the goal as well. But interesting stuff in that game. It finishes 2-1. Charlton were probably a little bit disappointed. I say very disappointed. They lost the game. But in terms of the way that Wigan performed that game, it looked like they did really, really well going forward. Stats make it a little bit more even, but Wigan had more of the ball. And second in the league for Wigan is now push on to probably go on and achieve that automatic promotion spot. They probably are still looking to push on and do that. It does finish, though, Wigan 2, Charlton Athletic 1. Jonnie Jackson needs to turn things around based on those last two games, get back to winning ways. But like I said, 14th in the league. Can they go on in the next game and get something back from it? I hope they can. I like what Jonnie Jackson has done. I like what he's installed into this Charlton squad. Let's see what he can do. But a disappointing result yesterday against Wigan. But like I said, Wigan are high flying. They're doing a fantastic job in the league. And I don't think... I think Wigan are going to be... I mean, it looked like Rotherham were running away with it slightly. We'll come on to that game, of course, in due course. But Wigan are looking like they really could take it to the sword a little bit and take Rotherham to the sword to an extent. Interesting to see. We'll see what happens, of course. Next up, then, we'll go to, again, we can pick a lot of games, but I'm not going to go to the, I'll pre-warn you, we're not going to go to the Oxford United Bolton game. I did a match reaction for that on the channel. You can watch that. I go into detail about that game specifically for about 30 minutes, and I was an Oxford United fan. I like to do that in more detail straight after the game, so I won't touch on that, but a good result for Bolton, another win for them, and they beat Oxford United 3-2. The third game I want to go to, the penultimate game, Portsmouth against Doncaster, and I watched Portsmouth last week. And we beat them 3-2. They got a red card quite early in the game, and that's, I think, throw them off. As a lot of times it does throw teams off when you have that red card. It can sort of change the different aspects of the game. But they looked brilliant, didn't they? Yesterday they did look really, really good. And Doncaster, they were coming into this game after, of course, a brilliant win, a phenomenal win. I mean, they did lose, I believe, on Tuesday night, but a brilliant win against Sunderland. They couldn't get anything in the Tuesday game where they could sort of back up that brilliant Sunderland win last weekend, and they come into this game, and from what it looks like, they got pretty battered. I mean, we look 58% possession to 42. They had less of the ball. They had less shots, 15-8. Less shots on target. They had less big chances. Interestingly, only by one. Apparently, they missed a big chance as well, but they got beaten by 4-0. We look at that attacking momentum graph as well. First half, it looked like, I mean, look at that. I mean, it looks like in that first half, Doncaster were really, really quite, giving them a really quite interesting test and giving them an interesting game. But it seems to me that the second half, it went absolutely completely wrong. It looked like the game plan completely gone out the window. It looks like first half they were matching them, and they really had moments of the game, and going forward in that attacking sense, it looked like Doncaster were really in control. I think what must have happened is Danny Cowley's coming at half-time going, what on earth is going on? Probably gave him a little bit of the hairdryer treatment at half-time. You're getting dominated going forward. We haven't scored a goal yet. They did look like they saw a bit of improvement from Portsmouth's perspective just before half-time, but second half it looked like Doncaster weren't there. It looked like it was all Portsmouth, and they got 4 goals, and in the end beat them really quite comfortably. 56 minutes, 63rd minute, 81st minute, and then injury time, Sean Raggett got a goal. So you can see there that in the end it looked very, very comfortable. But the first half, Doncaster were matching Portsmouth, but second half, Portsmouth ran away with it. Of course, got the 4 goals and easily beat them. I mean, for Doncaster, look at it from a league position, there's a serious position, and I think there should be a real sort of level of concern there, as there probably has been for a while. 22 points to Wimbledon, who are just outside the playoffs, to 31. So 9 points away from safety. It's looking like it could be too much of a difficult task for Doncaster to get themselves out of what is a very, very difficult mess they find themselves in. Like I said, you beat Sunderland, you maybe think that could be the fantastic result that can sort of turn a season around. Apparently not, though. No response on Tuesday, and then a really quite disappointing thumping against Portsmouth yesterday. Not going well for Doncaster. For Portsmouth, though, again, they got a good win on Tuesday night, another win again yesterday. 44 points, 53 the first playoff spot is, so 9 points from them away from the top 6. Is that going to be too much of a difficult ask? Maybe it shall be, but either way, a fantastic result yesterday, a thumping victory against Doncaster. First half, Doncaster matched them. Second half, Portsmouth ran away with it. It finishes Portsmouth 4, Doncaster 0. So next and the final game, and I said that we had to come on it. We had to wait because it happened at, I believe, what game did this go? Was it 12 o'clock this afternoon for this Sunday? Sheffield Wednesday against Rotherham. What a fascinating game this was going to be. I mean, look at that momentum graph. We'll come on to that in just a second. Well, I want to look at league positions first, but you can see they're looking at that graph up and down, all over the shop. Definitely a moment for both sides to get things from the game. In the end, it looks like Rotherham have won the game comfortably 2-0. Looks like they could be winning the title comfortably as well. 68 points. Rotherham, I think, are running away with it. Although Wigan have got a few games in hand on them, they still, with those games in hand, they win all of them. There's still going to be a gap. And of course, games in hand aren't guaranteed wins. Ask a lot of fans of a lot of clubs that do have games in hand. You don't necessarily just win them. Although you've got them, then you need to sort of transfer them into points. And even if we can do that, I think Rotherham are still going to be quite comfortable leaders of this League One campaign. Look at that momentum graph as well. A little bit all over the shop, really. A little bit all over the shop. No sides really, I guess, having certain and definitive moments in games. I mean, there were, let's bring up the sides so you can see exactly who they are. The biggest spikes in the game do come from when the goals were. Rotherham with the two big spikes in sort of the second half and got the 2 goals as well. Sheffield Wednesday had moments in the game, but you can see there Rotherham definitely dominant in those patches. Both the strikers, Michael Smith and Freddie Ladapo, getting the goals for Rotherham. So there's 2 strikers getting the 2 goals for them. And like I said, I think they might be running away with it. I think they might be comfortably winning the league. We look at again, like I should mention, Sheffield Wednesday weren't dominated completely across the park. They did have moments in games. They actually had more possession, 55% possession. They had more shots. They didn't have as many big chances, but they definitely did outnumber them on total shots, on target, on more corners. So to be honest, Sheffield Wednesday, They could have got more from this game, but it looks like 2 chances and 2 big spells in the game, 2 big attacking momentum moments in the games have ended and have meant they've lost this game 2-0. So there will be a real sense of disappointment in that Sheffield Wednesday camp. But still, no doubt at all, Rotherham are doing fantastically well. They're having a fantastic season. It looks like they could go on and win the league. But like I said, they're the big 4 games we've highlighted as well. Again, some really interesting results elsewhere. Plymouth beating Shrewsbury, a 0-0 draw against for MK Dons as they played against Ipswich. We already spoke about the Oxford Bolton game on a separate episode. Lincoln drawing to Wycombe Wanderers in that game as well. I think there was a game that we've missed behind that. Cheltenham, again, Fleetwood, a little bit of a struggling side at the moment. Let's look at that league table as well. Fleetwood, they're drawing a lot of games. A loss, though, yesterday, but disappointed against Cheltenham, will continue to having a good season. A 2-2 draw as Burton faced against Cambridge, and a smashing result for Accrington Stanley as they beat Crewe 4-1. Again, another win for Accrington. Of course, beat Oxford on Tuesday night as well, but for Crewe, really, really quite disappointing. Daniel Adji, though, ex-Oxford United player, getting the consolation goal in that game. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my roundup. That's been my insight in some really interesting games in League One yesterday. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as well, so you never miss an episode of the podcast. Until next time, though, take care, stay safe, and see you all very, very soon. To the bit.